When we're talking about finances, Dubs, what do you think? In relationships, do you feel like you should have joint bank accounts, separate bank accounts? What should be the thing for you personally?
Personally, I think you should definitely have a joint account that you pay your bills from, yeah. In an ideal world, some people they have a joint bills account, a joint savings account, and then you've got your separate accounts. So you will have yours and your missus will have her separate account. That is how I kind of look at the separate and joint accounts. That's kind of how I like to do things.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, and I agree. I agree with that. I think I've seen a lot of couples that I used to do one-to-ones with couples where we sit down and go through like before they get married. Because what you have to understand with a lot of this is that a lot of us we learn our finance and money and the way we think about money from our parents or from our environment. Every parent is different. Do you know what I mean? Your mum and dad might have been really open about money, but then your partner's mum and dad might have been really closed and it might have been something private. So you're now bringing these two worlds together. What you think is normal is very weird to your partner and vice versa. So we've got to find the middle ground. So something I used to do was like sit down with couples like while they're going through the marriage course with church and stuff like that and just talk about their finances and open up and see what's going on. What we have to remember is that after infidelity, so people cheating on one another, the second reason for people getting divorced is money. So it's really important that we understand that, okay, all right, yeah, your partner, you might not cheat, but still, if you don't have good communication when it comes to money, if you are not on the same kind of trajectory when it comes to money and your thoughts around money, a very high chance that could be a reason why you break up. Now, when we're talking about banking, for me, what I can't understand is sometimes I meet people and they're like, we pick which bills we pay and then we keep our accounts completely separate. I understand like it's what you've been used to, but I feel like when you go into something new, you can't just be the same as you was before. Like it's a new environment. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like you're used to being in the UK, so you wear loads of jumpers and stuff like that. And then you move to Dubai and now you're still wearing jumpers because you're used to wearing jumpers. Like you're in a different environment. Like you got to make it make sense for the conditions that you're in. And so you're no longer single is what we're saying. Like when you were single, it's fine for you to move in a way that it was working. But now you're no longer single. And especially if there's not discussions or talks, you just split your bills and then you get paid. As long as those bills are paid, your money is your money. And no, but whatever decisions are made, it affects us both because we are tied together through marriage. And what I don't think people understand. When you get married, like, and you're now on council tax and these types of things together, and voting register together, on your credit score, your partner will appear on your credit score. If one does bad with their credit, it could potentially affect you.
Yeah, that's why it's so important to find out your partner's credit.
Exactly.
Sometimes even before you move in.
Exactly. And remember also that if you live at the same address and your partner does something at that address can get a bad name. If you're at that address, that also can affect your credit. So it's really important to understand that, okay, once you're making this marriage decision, why would we be hiding our money from one another? Now, I totally understand the concept of having a separate account to pay your bill. Like me, I've got a spending account. The money I put in there is for spending. That's me. There's no point in me joining that with my wife. But the majority of my accounts are joined with my wife. Number one, because we want to make sure we have clarity when it comes to bills and stuff like that and everything is clear so that no one's confused in regards to what's getting paid, where money's going. But number two, also, I understand that I earn more than my wife. If my wife needs to get access to money, for me personally, I don't want her to feel like, she's run out of sanitary pads. She must text me, babe, I need new. Like, are you mad? That's not... Come on, just do what you got to do. Do you see what I'm saying? If you need support, like the money's there. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's our money. It doesn't make a difference. If it's in my name or it's in your name, it's still ours. The decisions that we make are done together. Even when it comes to buying stuff for the kids, sometimes these things are unexpected. Not every time you're going to be texting me, babe, can you transfer me over £25 because I've got it doesn't make sense. Do you know what I mean? Or sometimes you get bigger costs that are unexpected. The kids are going on a school trip. Also, we can save together. So one of the big things for me is that our savings accounts are joint. Do you know what I mean?
All of them, yeah?
I'm sure she has other accounts that she might save in or whatever from like her side hustles or stuff that she does, do you know what I mean? But we have a savings account for, like, for example, when we were buying our house, we had a joint savings account and we put money in there and we had an agreement on how much we're going to put in that account. It kept us both accountable because if you was running short, we could let man know. Okay, I'm not going to be able to, then I can work out, okay, can I do something to top up, to make up the difference so that we don't fall behind? But also be able to have that conversation. When it comes to money, we don't want to be challenged because we feel like if we're being challenged, it reminds us of we feel like we're being treated like a kid, or like we're not adults. Like, I'm an adult, so I can just make whatever decision I want. That's not how life works.
I think it's because people are used to the fact that when they were a kid, their parents would talk to them in a particular way, especially when it comes to money as well. And I feel like a lot of people are very self-conscious when it comes to their money. When it comes to your finances, things can be quite judgmental. So then when you're making mistakes financially, it's like, I don't want to discuss this, or I don't feel like I need to talk to you about why I made said purchase. But
Exactly.
it's like, or I realize as well, it's about how you open a discussion.
Yes, and sometimes I feel like, imagine like, for example, like me, myself now, like I said, I earn more, so I'm very open with my wife. I make sure that she feels comfortable. But let's say she's doing her money for my side hustle, whatever, and then it's time to contribute. Like, so when we split the bills, for example, we split our bills 70-30, do you know what I mean? As I earn more. If that changed, if my wife's financial situation changed, why would she be comfortable me putting in 70-30 if our incomes are the same? We should be putting in the same. For me, the mindset is that the money is ours. It's not just mine. So if I'm up, then I'm ready to put in more. If you're up, then why would you not want to match that? Do you know what I mean? Or at least have that conversation. When you now accidentally find an account or something happens and it's like, why would you hide money from me? Or why would you not have these conversations? Because a lot of the time, again, it can make you feel in a way, it can make you feel not valued, or not, like, you're not appreciating the sacrifice that man's putting in here.
Sometimes you'll be in situations where somebody who's got bad spending habits may want to do things, because you may know that, okay, look, your spending habits aren't necessarily the best here, so I want you to put a little cap on what you're doing. But then, as you're saying, it can make them feel a certain type of way. Oh, I'm now restricted on how I can spend this and do this.
Exactly.
And depending on how that conversation goes, it can almost fall on its head, and then now that person can almost no longer speak to you or feel comfortable speaking to you. So I think that's something that, people need to, get better at knowing how to approach your partner or the partner receiving information.
And also you have to know your partner. Like my wife, she knows me. Like, so when we want to have money conversations, I know she'll make a nice meal because she knows when I'm eating food, I'm more relaxed. You understand? You have to approach with caution. Do you know what I mean? Because these things can be delicate. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? For me, I might get her some flowers, or I might, do you know what I mean? Or I might take her out somewhere, or, I might bust some jokes. Do you know what I mean? Get her smiling and then drop it. One thing I always tell my wife is, whatever conversations we're having, remember, it's always coming from a place of love. I don't say certain things and then stop loving you. Like, I always love you, but there are certain conversations that we have to have that might not be comfortable, especially as we are not just accountable for us, but our 4 kids. If we've got 4 kids that are looking to us, we want to know the life that we want to give them, the support we want to give to them, then we can't be squandering. We've got to set the right examples, and we've got to check each other. Sometimes when I hear, who's at the door today? Then you hear another knock, then another knock, delivery. How many knocks are we knocking? Like, the door's not even closing, somebody else is already at the door to postman delivering. And obviously some of it I know is like, she does a cake business, so she has to order stuff for her cakes, and obviously her customers are paying for the stuff on the cakes, which is fine. But some of it is, you just want to buy clothes for this, or you want to look nice for this and that, and I appreciate it. But at the same time, it's like, it's got to make sense, because we can't be hearing knocking at the door and you're buying stuff, and then you're still with the same breath of telling me, I wish I had more money, or I don't have enough money. No, you have money, but you're spending it. So let's not act like you don't make dough. Do you know what I mean? It's how you're using it. And so it's really important that we hold each other accountable. Everyone has their own thing. Like, my wife is really good at budgeting and so forth. But at the same time, like, she likes clothes. She likes to look nice. And I know a lot of that is trauma and things that she's been through, where she's had to wear the same clothes and repeat it over time because of the conditions that, growing up in poverty and struggling. I totally understand that, but that can't continue forever. Like, sometimes you have to have that conversation, say, okay, yes, I've been through this, but I'm on the other side now. I don't need to keep reminding myself that I'm not poor anymore, so I need to buy this. Oh, I'm not broke, so I have to go to this shop. Oh, I'm not poor anymore, so I drive this car. We have to get to the point where we're happy enough to say, thank God I'm no longer in this situation. Thank God I don't look like what I've been through. Let me be grateful for what I have, and let me not keep buying stuff to try and make ourselves feel better for the things that you've been through, because it will never stop.
It becomes emotional spending.
Exactly.
So what would you say your thing is then? Because I think everybody's got one thing. I think maybe one of my things is tech.
Can imagine.
Yeah, there's laptops that you can't see on the shop, all kinds of stuff. So sometimes it can be like tech stuff for me. But what would you say your stuff is?
For me, I think I do like to look sharp. Like, I like to look sharp, so that's important. But I think where I spend a lot of money on perfume, like, I don't play. Don't tell me about budget. How does it smell? Do you know what I mean? Because for me, that's important. I'm a hugger. Man can't be hugging people and you stink. Like, that's long. Like, do you know what I mean? You open your arms and you see green. I've come from there. I remember when man used to use powder, talcum powder. put in the arm. It's not. By the time you've made it to school, you're finished already. Bro, it doesn't work, bro. It doesn't work, bro. Man used to use talcum powder, thinking that it was doing something.
Just slapping the
Just slapping in the armpit.
everything goes
You know
white.
that? Like LeBron, like the whole thing is white everywhere, like raining. Bro, by the time you made it off the bus to school, bro, you're already finished. For me, was always conscious that like how I smell is really important, you know what I mean? I will spend money on perfume, but for me, I see it as an investment because I'm around people all the time.
What about you, Fulms? What's your thing?
Oh, what's my thing? What do I like spending money on? I think it depends. If I'm gonna buy something, I'll have to like budget for it and save for it in installments. For example, I want to buy hair.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I don't want to pay for it straight away, so let me save money like over a couple of months. So I would say hair, but I don't buy that often.
Yeah.
She's trying to be humble. Her thing is offering.
Yeah.
She love to drop offering in the church. Slap that in there. Slap that in there. Forget 10%. She's putting 30% in there, smiling.
No, not even that. But one thing I've learned about like in terms of offering and giving is that it's important to sow where you want to grow. So like even me, when I go to like ministries and stuff and I see what they're doing, I'm just like, I can't lie. If I let you have what you guys are doing, I want to be part of that. So it's like I'm trying to sow into stuff like that. But in terms of what else I like to spend on, I don't actually know. I don't think I spend that much.
But you don't go on holiday, right? You do holidays.
Yeah, but it's like I'll save
Travel.
up for it.
Yeah, but you travel. You like to travel.
How often a year do you go on holiday?
I haven't been anywhere this year. Well, I went to Milan for a day trip. But that was cheap. That was flights for like £60.
It's still a holiday though. Did you go last year?
No, last year I didn't go anywhere.
Oh, okay. But was the year before you must have gone?
The year before I was in uni. Yeah, clothes and weave. Yeah.
Clothes and weave. Wow.
Okay.
What about you, James? What's your you said technology, yeah?
Yeah, mine's definitely.
Cameras, but that's your job, right? So.
Yeah, you can say that. Do you know what? Someone else would argue and say, do you know what? Yeah, once you get like, you got your camera, you got your, I don't know, tripod, then you can just settle down. But I might like a new drone. Right now, this year, I'm relaxing. Maybe once I hit a certain amount, I'm gonna say to myself, you know what? Let me just enjoy and upgrade a little bit.
Yeah, but it's important. Balance is important.